This is the XMarto Solar Security System. Solar security is so cheap anymore, and I get a lot of requests to do reviews on them, and I will only pick the best ones. My son-in-law and my daughter decided to renovate a home very close to where we live, and the one downfall from where they do live is they're closer into the center of town, and there's a lot of activity, and security is just something you have to be concerned about nowadays, no matter where you are in the world. So XMarto sent this security camera system to me. It's again solar power, and it's got a separate solar panel to it, and the camera itself is a 4K PTZ camera, and that is a really cool way to be able to observe and change camera settings, and also change the direction of where your camera's aiming to direct it at those spots of concern for your household. For today's installation, we have 4 locations already set up on the house, ready to go. We talked about it beforehand, and we're going to try out this XMarto security solar panel system. So I am going to just do a real quick unboxing and see what's in the box. We have all the documentation, and yes, it is a good thing. It's got to see the stickers there to stick them in obvious places to deter any criminals from trying to infiltrate your abode. And here you have an HDMI cable. Okay, I don't know why you would need that. Anyways, here we have all of the solar panels. Got a LAN cable here. It's probably for the hub, and we'll talk about all the details of that here in a second. But here's the 4 solar panels with all of their cables and all of their mounting equipment. You've got your USB-C to USB-A cables and a bracket for each of the cameras and the solar panels. So it's going to be a really simple installation process. And you have a mouse for the hub. That's good. And then you have, of course, a power brick for probably the hub itself, most likely. I'm curious about the HDMI cable though, because that means that you can monitor out live in your home. Then I'm going to be jealous of this system. And here we have the 4 mounting brackets for the cameras themselves. And it's going to be really self-explanatory. And the ones that I have at home are still going strong, and I've had them for over 3 years now. It's nice that you don't have to pay for subscriptions, but you also don't have to add that to your power bill. But it's got a little plastic to remove, and it does have a SD card, micro SD card in the bottom, that you can do some internal recording per camera as well. So you've got a lot of options here. Here's the hub. And you do have an HDMI out. I'm jealous. You've got your LAN line, so you can have connectivity. You don't have to have internet, but it's really nice to have if you're away from home and you want your notifications being sent to you, and you can watch the cameras live at the highest bit rate possible. You've got an internal TF card here, SD card, with an internal 1 terabyte drive. And you've got HD out on it, so you can actually hook it up to a TV and monitor all of the cameras at once in your home. That is game-changing right there. I'm super jealous of that because I don't even have that on my own. Now I have an 8 camera setup, but they're made to do that. But as far as my solar cameras, I don't have that. But it's a nice looking hub, if you will, and we're gonna see how well it works. So now that we have it all unboxed, let's get this puppy installed. Now, one smart thing to do before you get started is to make sure you put all of these kind of together, so when you're up on the ladder, you're not trying to figure it out while you're up there. I like these mounts because they have a friction arm style connection, so once you tighten this down, this won't move anymore, and I really dig that. That's really nice. I'm setting each one of these mounts up for each of these solar panels, and then I'll probably stick a bunch of screws, because you always get up on the ladder and you always drop crap, and I'll have my pockets filled with all the extra installation screws, because like I said, you don't really need more than 1 per one of these brackets. If you don't over tighten it and you didn't crack it, then it'll last you a lifetime. Say again, you tighten it down, it stays put, you loosen it up, and then that is so neat. I love it. All right, good. And then the brackets for the actual cameras themselves are, one, you're gonna plug in where it says power. You're gonna turn on your camera while you're up there and make sure, oh, that's loud. So now that the camera's on, you're also gonna be running your solar power straight into this part right here. I guess it's secure enough, but I'm not a fan of that, honestly. You would think that it would go down like this, and then you would have your cameras up, and then you hold it down like that, slide it down. That way it's got more. So I'm kind of surprised that they have this installed like this, because if you put it in here like so, then yeah, it's gonna lock into place. But I don't know, I think it's not amazing, because I would want something to be cradled in place by something like this that you slide into. I don't like single points of contact when you had all of this other contact space to turn upside down and cradle this if it were just upside down. Kind of silly. So you're basically hanging. Not a fan, not a fan. So I'm at my son-in-law's house right now, and he's had the camera set up for about a week now, and he's loving it. And it does have some pros and cons to it. And there was one thing that we were worried about at the very beginning, is if you had a live video feed, how can solar power actually power that constantly? So it would have to be by screenshot, and at first it wasn't doing it. So after a little bit of finagling and figuring it out, realized that it was just a simple setting that you could turn on to make all of the screenshots occur when those events happened. So these are all live screenshots of specific events, and here in a minute I'll run around the house real quick and see how long it takes for each camera to respond while he stays inside in the dry with the camera just sitting somewhere, so you get a better idea of the response time to this. I'm getting way too old for this. See, these are the things that I do for you. Run around the house in the rain. Come on. Subscribe. What are some of the pros that you've seen, Brandon?
I really like that it'll go to a live feed once you get a notification on your phone. So I work from home sitting at the desk right next to it. So when they're asleep, I get a notification of movement. It's normally my dog's out under the barn, but it'll turn on and I can look over and see what's happening without having to pull out my phone.
Now this is at midnight and he's getting full color notification. And there's a little bit of light out there, but nothing to brag about, so excellent quality. But as I mentioned, some of the cons are...
I set all these cameras to run on infrared at night, because I don't, except for the driveway one, I don't really want the spotlight going off all the time when somebody walks out there, or if the dogs are walking out there. Specifically this one, my neighbors are right over here, I don't want the light turning on. So I set it to infrared. But it seems like every night, or right after I do it, I'm not really sure, it resets back to color. So the spotlights come on.
And here are the zones that you can set so you can get notifications just within the zones that you preset. For those of you who have questions whether or not you can keep this plugged in all of the time, if you have an external power source via USB going into your camera, then yeah, you can do continuous record mode. Nice feature.
So after a week of use in front of the cameras, you know, dogs walking out there, playing out under the barn with a kid and everything, it hasn't even used a full gigabyte of its storage yet.
That's amazing. So after having your camera for a week and you saw this on sale for say $329.99 on Amazon, is this something that you would invest your money in?
I would.
Okay, because I think that's a really good deal too. Like I said, I do a lot of these reviews, and this is probably the best one that I've seen so far. It beats mine hands down.
With no monthly fee and literally just plug and play. You just screw it into your wall or whatever, plug in the solar panel and plug that in, and it's set up essentially.
Yeah, you don't even have to have internet when you first set it up because the cameras automatically go, straight into the hub. And we found that out the easy way, and it was nice to have. But then you were wondering, do you have to have internet? It does if you want to leave the house and get any notifications. Other than that, really not that necessary. So that'll be it for us. I just wanted to share this camera review with you. I'm really excited about it. I know he is, because it was a nice housewarming gift for a job well done on renovating their home for my daughter and my granddaughter. So if you like this review, please make sure you hit that like button, notification bell, and watch for more upcoming content. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. I want to remind you that I started a 3D printing channel as well, and I invite you to come check us out at Crafted Catastrophes on YouTube. So look us up, you'll see our thumbnail, and we'll see you there. Bye.